We are live. All right, so let's get into it. I'm trying to see if I can see everybody in the chat. Public chat. Let's see. People. Chat. Live. That's recorded. All right, let's see. What's going on? What's going on? This is your boy B. On this particular live, I am going to discuss about sleep and hair loss. And so the year your hair started thinning might not be the year the problem started. So I just want to let you guys know that. So I see John Smalls. Who else here? Who else is in here? Who else we got? What's going on? I need some questions answered if you can. I will. I'm going to answer your questions, but I might already answer your questions what I'm about to say. Okay. So I want to say this really quickly. The year your hair started thinning might not have been the year your problem started. So that might just been the year your body finally showed it had not been recovering for a long time. And one of the I would say the biggest places I see this show up is sleep. Okay, sleep is like it's one leg of a table, right? Just, you know, imagine you had a four-legged table, and sleep is just one part of that four-legged table is one of the legs. And for a lot of men, that leg is weak or it's broken. And I do over 500 hair loss consultations, or have done over 500 hair loss consultations. And what I've realized is that 9 out of 10 men that I talk to are sleeping after 11 p.m. I kid you not. 9 out of 10 of the men I am talking to, consulting with, are sleeping after 11 p.m. Okay? And some are sleeping at midnight. Some are going to sleep at 1 a.m. Some have gone to sleep at 2 a.m., right? And there are some outliers, which, I don't even want to get into that, but that is what I'm seeing. And some are in bed, but their brain is still on. So I have guys like that as well. They're on their phone and all they're doing is just scrolling. So if that's you, put a one in the chat. If you go to bed after 11 p.m., put a one in the chat. Okay, and that matters because hair is not the body's first priority. Your body will protect your brain, your organs, your blood sugar, your stress response, your immune system before it sends resources to your hair. So when your sleep is off, the body starts playing defense at that point. And you may be still using products. I know a lot of you guys are using oils, minoxidil, different serums, shampoo, supplements, derma rollers, derma stamps. A lot of guys are using those things. But if your recovery is weak, your response can be weak too. And that does not mean that the product doesn't matter. It just means that the body environment matters. Always remember this: the hair follows the body doesn't follow the hair. Okay? That's just how it works. Your hair is a luxury, it's not a necessity. So, why does sleep matter for the scalp? Sleep is the one leg of the table because it affects the scalp in four ways. One is dandruff. I had a client the other day from Bangladesh, and he would go to sleep about like 2 a.m. 2 a.m. It started when he was a college student, so it started when he was like 20. At this time I was talking to him, he was like 25, 26. And so he was dealing with not only just he was thinning on the top of his head, but he was also dealing with dandruff and an itchy scalp. So those are three symptoms that he was experiencing: hair loss, dandruff, and an itchy scalp. And so I asked him, I said, what time you going to bed? He's like, oh, I go to bed at 2 a.m. I was like, and right then I knew I was like, okay, that's where the problem started. So when I told him just something simple, it don't cost you nothing, it's low hanging fruit. Get to bed early. Get to bed a little earlier. and that would help because he was using, he had got prescribed ketocortisol and and a couple other things. He was using minoxidil as well too, and he was using the Dermastan. So he was using all three of those particular things, but he was still having issues. So with the sleep, dandruff is not just dry scalp. A lot of times, what happens with dandruff is that it's tied to the oil on your scalp, yeast activity as well, product buildup, irritation, and a weak scalp barrier. And when I was telling him, I was like, when your sleep is off, the scalp can become easier to irritate, and so your scalp barrier can get weaker, and that's because the immune system can become more reactive. So now that same oil or sweat buildup or the yeast activity. And what I mean by yeast activity, meaning the not the I was thinking about the mitochondria, not the mitochondria. That's your powerhouse to your cells, but your I don't know why it's evading me right now, but the yeast. So you have a lot of yeast. Everyone has a little bit of yeast, but when it becomes overactive, then what happens is that it can create more flakes, more itching, and more inflammation. Okay, so poor sleep may not create the dandruff by itself, but it can make the scalp worse at controlling it. And it also just creates the environment for it. All right. The second thing is tenderness. So I had another client who had he was losing his hair. He was also he had scalp tenderness, and so usually what happens is that when you have a tender scalp, that usually tells me that the scalp is irritated, inflamed, tight, sensitive, or is reacting to something. Anytime a client tells me that. So when a man says the scalp feels sore, tender, tight, or sensitive, I'm not only thinking about what he put on his scalp, I'm also thinking about whether his body is recovering enough to calm the scalp down. Okay, so a tender scalp is not always a hair growth problem first, and it goes also with your beard. If you also having issues with your beard, it impacts your beard as well, and sometimes it's a recovery and inflammation problem that's showing up on the scalp. Okay, and then you have the other thing, the third thing. You also have genetics, right? Everybody says, hey, genetics. Well, genetic hair loss is still genetic. Sleep does not erase DHT sensitivity. Sleep does not turn off the androgenic alopecia, but sleep can impact the environment around the follicle. So if the follicle is already sensitive, now the body is under recovered. Okay, it's inflamed, it's stressed, it's running on credit, it's running in a deficit, and when you're trying to heal your body or heal your scalp, that fight becomes harder. And in fact, what tends to happen is that you when you don't get sleep, when it's chronically becoming a lifestyle, then that can turn on that flips on the switch when it comes to your genetic activity, because a lot of people have a predisposition to hair loss, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to experience hair loss. It's because of your lifestyle, and one of those pieces of the four-legged table is sleep, and sleep can turn that on, and so make your scalp very sensitive, and so then your body's trying to compensate for it, and then now you have a DHT problem, you have a blood flow problem, you have a whole lot of other issues that are happening at the same time. So no, the sleep is not it is not a be all end all in terms of being able to cure everything. It's part of the program. Okay. And then the other thing that I get, a lot of guys who are coming to me, they have shedding issues, their hair is shedding, and when the body is under recovered, hair can become easier to shed. So you go through what we call the hair growth cycle, and so when you're not getting that sleep, the body is trying to manage the stress, your energy, and your blood sugar, and the inflammation, and the immune function first. And so that hair gets pushed back to the line. Hey, you gotta get back to the line, G. You gotta go back to the back. You gotta get to the back. And so the body does not treat the hair like rent. It treats the hair like a luxury bill. So when it comes down to having to cut costs, because things get expensive, your hair is gonna go. That's just how it is. When resources get tight, the hair is gonna get cut first. So you got to understand that the hair and sleep are intertwined, and because of your circadian rhythm. So your circadian rhythm, and then you have your hair growth cycle. They're connected, and when those two things are off, then that will begin to be the light switch to a lot of your hair issues and scalp issues, body issues, face issues, beard issues, you name it. Issues. You're gonna have a lot of issues. Okay. Now, the bigger picture is this: we all know sleep affects your energy. It also impacts your cravings, it impacts the inflammation in your body, especially when it's chronic. It's going to impact the stress load. It's going to impact your hormones, your blood sugar, impacts your discipline, impacts how consistent you are with your routines or just in life. So if you're sleeping, if you're going to bed after 10 o'clock, then you're gonna be really tired. Your body's not gonna be able to really recover because there is a block of time that your body is synced with your circadian rhythm in terms of when the sun goes up and when the sun goes down. There's a block of time where your body is in recovery mode, and when your body doesn't get that block of time to where you can get that deep REM sleep, so your body can recover itself, then it becomes a downhill effect after that. And then not on top of that, if you eat poorly, that just makes it even worse. So what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? All right. So this adds to the fact that you start to skip steps, you start to miss your routines, and then you start to take shortcuts. So if you're more likely to overuse products because you want a fast fix, this is why sleep. That's my wife. This is why sleep matters in a hair recovery conversation. So you can't out product a a protocol. Okay, you can't out product sleep. You're not going to be able to do that. And I get a lot of guys in my calls. They're like, "Oh man, what kind of product I need?" I'm like, "Okay, you need to go sleep." All right, what kind of product should I use? I'm like, listen, if you just start with step one, tie your shoes before you start running, you won't get down the road and bust your head again. And then you coming right back and you want to get stitched up. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to tell you, tie your shoes first before you start getting out there. It's just some basic stuff. So a lot of times I get my clients, they come to me, they want, they're thinking like, oh man, it's gonna be something like they don't know it's gonna be something as simple as like, yeah, man, sleep. And not just sleeping, because it's not about how long you sleep. It's about when you go to sleep. It's about the quality of your sleep. Not how long you sleep. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm sleeping about 7 hours. Well, what time you go to bed? Oh man, I went to bed like 12. You're cutting into your recovery time. You need to recover. That's probably why your A1C, your blood sugar is high. Your metabolism is low. Your testosterone is low. A big part of that is sleep. It's not the be all end all, but it is part of the equation. All right. So, what I'm not saying to you guys is that one late night makes you bald. That's not what I'm saying. Like, if you like, oh yeah, man, I did stay up last night, or one night out of the week, or 2 weeks ago, or 2 months ago, I did it one time. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying sleep is gonna fix when the genetic ball has already started. I'm not gonna say it's gonna fix it by itself. However, your hair needs energy. And in order to get energy, it needs the mitochondria. And the mitochondria is the powerhouse to your cells. If you got a factory, and if the factory is your hair, and if you don't have any power to plug in your phone, and your phone is always on 1%, you're gonna have issues with your phone. And not only just that, but being able to function the phone the way that you want to. You're gonna always have an issue when it's on 1%. That is what's happening with your hair when you're not getting sleep. Your hair is on 1%, and then you have the expectation for it to grow, or you have the expectation that the product should be helping doing XYZ, but you can't out product your body. At the end of the day, if you don't have the power, if you're not having the power that needs to charge your phone up, which is your mitochondria that powers your hair growth, which you get that by getting sleep and going to bed before 10, then you're gonna have an uphill battle. and that's just what it is, man. So I'm not saying you got to go to sleep at 8 p.m. You know, some people it may not be realistic because if you work like a third hour third hour shift, you know, that's why they call it the graveyard. You know, if you can't work, you know, if you can't sleep because you work in the graveyard or your schedule, you know, you might work in a hospital and that may make it might be a little challenging for you. I get it. I get it. So those type of clients, what I have to do, I have to create a whole different type of protocol because I have to account for the fact that they're not going to be able to get that sleep. So I have to build a ironclad protocol for them, and it's not just a product thing. It's a slew of things that I have to build for them, and not only just you don't just use products, but it's what order of products are you using, when you're using it, how are you timing the products with any other product that you're using. And so for that particular type of client, that's what I typically do. But at the end of the day, man, if you're not having that recovery time, that's the foundation. That's going to weaken your foundation. And when the foundation is weak, the scalp will not respond the way that you want at the end of the day. So, like I said, you can't stimulate your way out of a poor recovery. You can't ask your scalp to perform. You know, when the body is exhausted, your hair is not the body's first priority. It's going to deprioritize when you're running at a deficit. You got to get your body to a surplus. Okay, you need to get it to a surplus because sleep is not magic. Sleep is recovery. Okay, so and the scalp is going to always show the problem late. So if you're seeing your hair thin, if you're seeing your beard all brittle, if you see your beard thin, if you're seeing your hair, if your hair is itchy, tender, you got buildup or dandruff or whatever the case may be, or if you're brushing your hair and it kind of you can feel how it feels sore a little bit, then at the end of the day, that's the first place I would start because I think because a product is not going to be the uh, the solution. Okay, this is what it is. All right. Um. Now, any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Oh, this is what I would recommend you all to do. I want you guys to look at your bedtime and kind of figure out what you can do this on your phone. You can go to your phone if you got iPhone, if you have Android, whatever you have. You if you have a note section, what you can do is for 7 days track what time you go to sleep. Track what time you go to sleep. That's what I want you all to do. Track what time to go to sleep and then average it out. At the end of 7 days, average it out. It don't matter if you're still going to sleep at 2 a.m. or 12 midnight. The, the point of it is just track it. Just see how, just tracking is going to give you your average. And then just math it out. If you do that for if you have that same lifestyle for the next 6 months or even a year, 52 weeks, then you have a chronic sleep issue. If you have chronic sleep issue, then you have chronic inflammation. And if it hasn't shown up for you yet, it will show up at some point because when you're seeing your hair thin, you're just seeing the problem. You're seeing it, but the problem had already started when for the last year you had not been going to sleep because then your stress levels are up. You got more cortisol in your blood than you need, so you're always in a fight or flight state. It just creates a whole lot of problems for you. Let me see. I want to do this here. So yeah. So what I want to do. So that's one. Track your bedtime. Track what time you get up. All right. Track how. I want you to also track your total sleep. So each night you want to track what time you go to sleep, what time you wake up, how many hours you slept. Okay. And then track in the morning time. Score it 1 out of 5. What was your energy level out of 5? Was it a 5 where you like, man, I got a lot of energy this morning? Or was it a 2? Or was it a 1? Like, man, I feel tired. You got to push through. Okay. And then you also want to track uh, if you went to sleep after 10 p.m. Just a yes or no. Did you go to sleep after 10 p.m.? Yes or no. Okay. But these are things you want to do in life in general. You want to track what's going on in your life because it will tell the story Um, it kind of really gives you an insight of where, if you keep doing this, where you're going to end up, where you could end up. Let me say that, because I don't have the crystal ball, but I do know that the body at some point breaks down. Any questions? 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 What about pills? What about pills? I just started. I'm 53 years old. The size of my beard, the growth is very slow towards the chin. My beard growth is thick. I can't get it to grow even for some reason. Yeah, it can be a host of things. D Rock. It could be. I would check your A1C, right? I would check your MCHC. These are just your blood levels that I would. These are just the your vascular. It would give me an insight into what your vascular health is. So your A1C, right? That's what I would check, because this would let me know if you have really great blood flow, or if you don't have blood flow, if you got some blockage, or if you don't have any blockage, right? And a lot of men are fine, and it's going to give you a percentage. Like if you over 5.7%, then you're already heading towards the red zone, right? I would check your what I say. It's a A1C. Oh, like I said, MCHC. That's gonna let you know if enough oxygen is getting to your hair follicles, right? That's gonna let you know if enough oxygen. And these are the things that I do with my clients, right? When I'm with my clients, I'm working with my clients. I'm gonna put this in the chat too. I forgot to put this in the chat. My bad. Join the community. Join my community, my school community. Let me put this in the chat. I forgot to do that. I don't know if I'll be able to pin it. Can I pin this? No, it won't let me pin it. Anyways, I just put my school community, join that, and I'm putting more information on that particular community. It's small, but we're growing. We're growing. So help me to build that community up. You guys are a part of it. This is where you can kind of really ask me more personal questions versus just on the live here. We just kind of doing everything on the fly, because a lot of times it's like a back and forth. You might ask me a question and I might have a question to get clarity on what you're asking. But anyways, D Rock, MCA, MCHC, and then like I said, you want to check your A1C. That's where I would go. I was one of the places I would go to first. Okay, because it doesn't matter. You can take all the vitamins in the world, but if you're not getting enough oxygen to your follicles, like it don't vitamins are not going to outweigh oxygen to the body. That's like the basics of life, oxygen. So that's what I would say. And then if you have a vascular issue, then it's not all, you're not even maximizing on the vitamins and minerals that you're taking anyways. I just started using hams for my, but that's what I would check. Now, if you want to just use a product, then you can go and use a product, but you're still gonna have this problem. I just started hams for my miniaturized temples, hair. The derm recommended, and I have a bald shadow buzz cut, brother. Okay, okay, nice. What about okay, yeah. Do peels and vitamins help with beard and hair growth? It can. Do peels and yeah, it depends. It depends on what supplements you're taking. So it really depends. So it depends. So it depends. Like I was just talking about D Rock. If your vascular health is not over 90%, then no, it won't help, because you're not going to be able to just to out product your body. It just don't work that way. You know, that's and I get it. We're in a time where we're in that the microwave. Um, you know, that's the time that we're in. Get it quick fix, man. Let me get a quick fix. Convenience. I get it, but at the end of the day, the rooster gonna come home and roost. One day it's gonna come home, so you're gonna have to deal with it at some point. Either you're gonna deal with it now, or you're gonna deal with it down the road. Your hair is typically a signal that there's something internally going on. There's something that's off. You don't have any homeostasis, no balance, and your hair is the one thing that we have that is the signal, and the reason why, because it's connected to a level of vanity, right? So, luckily it's the hair. Luckily it's not the eye. For some people it might be though. For some people it is the eye. Some people get to the point to where their A1C is like whew, out this world. Now they're diabetics. They have strokes. And unbeknownst to them, they don't know these things. And if you don't know these things, you're kind of like driving a car with no dashboard, or you ride in a car with somebody with no dashboard. And when you're young, you might do that. When you're young, you don't know no better. But when you get older, you be like, nah, that's not wise, man. That's not wise. Yeah. Any other questions? Questions? Can I still continue to be patient with the oral hymns? It depends. It really depends. It depends. I don't. Yeah, it depends. It's not. It really depends, because you got to understand that you're dealing with a three-layer problem, right? You have uh, the scalp environment, and if you're not taking care of that part, then now you are, now you have a problem. If you're not dealing with the what's going on underneath the scalp, like the your oxygen, blood flow, as I was just talking about D-Rock, when those some of those particular metrics I was just kind of giving them to check. If your vascular health is not on point, if you have inflammation in the body, things of that nature, those things are going to influence how your hair grow. If your hair is going to grow, if you're, if you're not getting the quality of sleep, then no, you can't out medicine these things. They're only going to take you so far. So those are the things that I would just say about, you need and the third thing, that's what I want to get to. And then you got the internal health. So you have to understand is your hormonal, do you have is there an imbalance there? Are you a pre-diabetic? Are you a diabetic? Um, you know, like I said, if is there a level of do you have chronic inflammation? Because then that can break your blood flow down. So your vitamin D, I forgot about vitamin D. Is your vitamin D on the low end? Is your vitamin D on the high? Where is your vitamin D? Is it optimized for hair growth? So you might go to a general health practitioner. They might say, "Oh, everything's normal." Normal for what? Right? Normal for hair growth? Because that's not their priority. Their priority is to say, "Okay, are you alive?" Just like how your body prioritizes the body, your general hair practitioner is prioritizing the body. The general practitioner does not care about your hair, because that's not their priority. They just want to make sure your lungs, liver, organs, and all that stuff work. Yeah. But yeah, you can give it a chance though. Give him a chance, man. But you're gonna need if you're not able to hit all those three layers, then you're gonna have you're gonna have some challenges. You're gonna have some challenges. I keep my head bald at times. I get really bad dandruff. What is the cause and how can I prevent it? I keep my head bald. Head bald. You get dandruff, so you get some dry skin. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I would start with, what time you go to sleep, Malik. I think that's Malik. I hope I said, is it Malik or Maul? Yeah, what time you go to sleep? Can't do one thing, but not too many things. Facts. Normal is the same as okay. Uh, yeah, but yeah, I mean, like I say, hymns only hitting one part. But again, if you don't have the whole protocol, then that's the problem that you're going to run into. That because hymns can't solve for the internal part, hymns can't solve for the scalp. Hymns, so it's only be able to hit one layer. It's not going to be able to hit all three layers. So let's see. Yeah, what time you go to sleep? What time is it? Okay, I got a client here. All right. But yeah, so do the tracking as I share with you. Do that for the next 7 days. You can start that on maybe Monday, maybe not. I don't know. Monday, I think is Memorial Day, I believe. Memorial Day, yeah. So you might not check. You might not start on Monday, but if you can start as soon as you can. So, but Monday is always a good day to start because you can track that, or Sunday. But yeah, I would do that tracking, and then that'll kind of give you some insight in terms of your seven, in terms of the quality of sleep that you're actually getting, you know, and that'll let you know like what's your energy levels. Is it exhausted? Are you tired? Are you okay? Are you good? Are you strong? And that'll kind of give you an insight in terms of your hair growth or even your beard. Let me see what my man said. 11 p.m. Yeah, 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 yeah. I would start. Yeah, I don't. As I was just sharing with you, that's you're gonna have to get to sleep before 10. Like literally, if your eyes should be closed. I say 9:45 because what I'm saying, you tell a person to be here. Hey man, be at the house at 10 at 9:30. You know what I mean? They're gonna get there at 10 o'clock. You know what I mean? The party starts at 2:30. They gonna get there at 5. So you got to be like, no, it's gonna start at 12. Even though you got to tell people you got to tell people it's gonna start at 12, even though it started at 2. That's just how it worked. So I would say, man, 9:30. Get to bed at 9:30 if you can. That would be the first start. The other thing I would say is that you can get you some either Nizoral 1%, and you can start using that, and that's going to fight any yeast, any fungus you have on your scalp as well. And then the other thing that I would just recommend that you to get, especially getting into the summertime, and is make sure you have a some sunscreen on. Put some sunscreen on your head, especially if it's gonna be bald for the summer. So those are a couple things I would do. Yeah, and then keep it moisturized as much as you can too. So that's a couple things. But don't put no oil on it. Do not put no oil. If you have dandruff, if your skin is do not put any do not put any, and what I mean by oil, don't put any coconut oil, don't put olive oil, don't put none of those because the yeast feeds off of it and all it does is it makes it worse. One of my clients was using that. He was using olive oil. He was like, "Yeah, man, when I put the olive oil on my head, it seems like it gets worse." Yeah, because you feeding the monster. You trying to get rid of the monster. You got to stop feeding the monster. So that's the one thing I would say is that if you put any oils on your scalp and you got dandruff, I would just stop. I wouldn't do it because you're gonna be feeding the monster. Yeah. All right. Any other questions before I get out? I get out of here. I get out of here. Miserable. I don't know what that means. Miserable. I don't know what that is. What is that? It is, yeah, I don't know what that is. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Miserable. I don't know what that is. Um, Best way to treat alopecia on a what you got? Alopecia barbae. That's what the only thing I can think of. You got alopecia barbae, then that's an autoimmune issue. You got an autoimmune, so you're gonna have to go to see a dermatologist, and they're gonna end up giving you some steroid shots. So I mean, they may not. Maybe they got something else like a cream or something. But typically, you get a steroid shot because that's an autoimmune issue. But third coast, the same question I'll ask you: what time you go to sleep? What time you go to sleep? Is dyeing your beard unhealthy? Dyeing your beard is not unhealthy. But what it does is that it's going to dry out your beard a lot more. So it's going to make your beard a lot more drier. Okay. So if you are going to dye your beard, you just got to make sure you keep it hydrated and keep it moisturized and make sure you're washing it, keeping it clean. That's going to be important. But make sure you hydrate it and moisturize it. Those are the two key things that you're gonna need to do. And don't put any oil underneath your beard because if you put oil underneath your beard, all you're gonna do is cause like beard bumps, cysts, all types of like a beard dandruff as well. So you don't want to put oil underneath your beard at all. You always want to put it on the outer shell of your beard. Best way to treat. Yeah, you gotta get to bed, man. Get to bed early because your autoimmune issue, your autoimmune is suppressed. Okay, you're going to bed late. You need to be going to bed before 10. You need to. If not, you're gonna have issues. Oh, Nizoral, yeah, Nizoral 1%. Niz. Yeah, Nizoral. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Let me see. Is that Nizoral? Nizorial. I think that's how you pronounce it. Nizoral. I can look it up. Nizor. Actually, no. There's no. It's Nizoral. 1% Nizoral. I think I put an I in there. There's supposed to be only one I, not two I's. I misspelled that. My bad. Boom. Yeah. Just get 1%. Use it. I'll say use it twice a week. Use it twice a week. Been thinking about growing that for a bit. Got tired of shaving the face for now. Yeah. Join my group. If you haven't joined my school community, you can join it right now. Man, it's a cold world. None of y'all joined it. I just put it in the chat. You see what I'm saying? That's cold, y'all. Dang. Dang, I'm answering y'all questions. Y'all can't even get into the school. Help a brother out. It's a cold world. I'm just kidding, man. I only want people who want to be in there, who want to be, help. Any other questions? I'm about to get off. Any other questions you guys have that we can talk about real quick? Any hair loss? We've already gone over sleep. I already given you guys some homework in terms of what you should be doing for the next 7 days. We've broken down why going to sleep before 10 p.m. Lights off, no TV, no room is dark, and you want to make sure the temperature is about 67 degrees. Okay, so that's what you want to do. You want to create an environment, and you're gonna have to practice that. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be nights you're gonna be sleeping you're gonna be in the bed and you can't even sleep because your body's so used to going to bed at 11, 12, or 1 a.m. So just you're gonna have to practice. You got to put that practice in. It's like anything you do in life, you gotta practice. Appreciate that. Don't be Don't be me. You I'm just gonna say don't be me. You. I ain't gonna say the other part. But that's funny though. That's funny. What's up? Give me tips on how I can make money. How you can make money? Oh man, this is not the money stream. You know, it's not the money stream. But it's not the money stream. So many ways. There's so many ways to make money out there, man. It's a lot of ways to make money. Jump. You can jump on the AI train right now. That's probably one thing I would say. Jump on the AI train. Uh, you know, learn as much as you can. Find a niche within that space, and then go out there and talk about it, and and if sell something. That's it. Provide value. Find where there's a pain point that somebody might have, and your job is to provide value. Find a pain point. There's a gap in the marketplace. You say, hey, I got something that can close the gap, that can help people. Then that's where you come into play. I'm not saying, you can do AI, you can find anything, but that's just the formula. The formula is find a gap in the marketplace, and then, you be the person to solve it. That's it. Somebody has a problem, you solve it. That's it. So you got to do a little bit of homework. We're clean shaven. We're clean shaven. For example, Jeremy Meeks is clean shaven and went viral. A billionaire's daughter married Jeremy. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Will clean shaven trend ever come? Oh, will clean shaven trend ever come back? It may. You know, trends come and go, man. You know, you can go back since time immemorial. Things come and go. You know, the bell bottoms came, right? That was the 70s, and then they came back in like the early 2000s, and then the tight jeans when everybody went back, when everybody went, it's just how it is. The pendulum always swings. So when you got one generation who wants to be different than the other generation, that's typically how the trends used to work. Now it's different because you got the internet, so everybody looking like everybody look. There's nothing unique. Everybody looks like each other. You get this. When I was in school, like I used to look up to like the Jay-Z's of the world, the Nas of the world. They a whole, older than I, So for me, I was like, oh man, when I get older, I'm gonna be able to dress like this or do that. Boom, 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 boom. That was a time, you know what I mean? But when I was in, high school, you dressed a certain way, but again, the older folks, they dress different than the young folks. But now the young folks and the older folks are all dressing the same. Everybody doing everything. You don't know who the daddy, who the who the son, and who the father. You used to know. Oh, that's the pops right there, and that's the son. Like you'll walk through the mall, you'll be able to like, all right, that's the son. Now these days, the son and the dad could be they twins. So, but yeah, trends come and go, man. You know what I mean? So it may come back. Clean shaven might come back. It may not come back. You know, but who knows? So how can I keep my beard black like yours? Man, my beard, I got grays in my beard. I got grays. Go to sleep. Don't be like me. For me, I would wake up, I'll be up for 24 hours, 48 hours, just grinding, hustling. I had that mentality. Even pushed it to 72 hours. It's stupid. That's stupid. Don't do that. I was just, it doesn't work. It broke me down. It really broke me down. I was like literally not sleeping. I was losing my hair, mentally just exhausted, body broken down, everything, So, what I would just recommend to do, man, is that when you're not getting to sleep, then your hair, you have what they call oxidative stress. Oxidative stress happens because, or partly it happens when one, your immune system is taking a hit. You got inflammation in the body. Your body's not able to recover. It's exhausted all the time. I used to have issues. I used to be tired all the time in the morning. Tired all day. Now my wife be trying to she be trying to turn my volume down in the morning. She be like, "Can you like turn it down a little bit?" I'm like, "What you talking about? I'm, I'm free. I got that energy. You know what I mean? I wake up, turn on the lights, go in there with my kids. I be waking them up. They be like this. They be like this. My son, he 8 months year old. He's 8 months years old. He be like this. He be ready. I'm like, yeah, buddy, let's go and wake up in the morning. But my wife be like, can you turn it down? She's like, ever since you've been getting better sleep, you wired. I'm like, quit hating on me. You know what I mean? Because brother doing good now in life. Brother living better. Now you want to be a hater. they love it when you down. They don't like it when you up. You know what I mean? I tell my wife, you gotta see, you like when I'm down. You don't like me when you know what I'm saying? You ain't with me when I'm shooting in the gym. Nah, I'm joking. No, she do be trying to turn me down sometimes because I be loud. I do be loud. I be hype in the morning. So I say all that to say this, man. You have what they call oxidative stress. Oxidative stress will break down when you're not getting sleep. That also will your hair can't produce melanocyte, so your mitochondria is part of that process. So you have to get rest. If you don't, it's gonna age you, and so you're gonna start seeing that your hair is gonna get gray, whether it's the hair on the top of your head, whether it's the hair on your facial hair. These things are gonna have an impact on how you look, how your skin look. So yeah, that would be the first thing I would say, man. Get some sleep. Don't get caught in the grind life. All that, don't get caught in that. So just make sure you to bed before 10. Eat right. Don't smoke. Don't drink. And when I say don't smoke, don't drink, there's a time and place for everything. You know what I mean? So I'm not being stringent and like, it's just a time and place for everything. So you just have to kind of pick your timing. Don't make it chronic. Don't make it a thing. But yeah, so I would say just be cognizant of that, of your lifestyle. Just choose wisely, be wise about everything. But that'll help you. That'll help you. That'll definitely help you. It'll slow it down. Have you visited other countries? Yeah, I've visited other countries. Um, okay. I don't know about that. All right. Any other questions, man? I'm about to get off here. I got a client here in the next, what time is it? In the next 20 minutes. And I need to prep for this client. If you want to get a free hair loss consultation, join my community. Don't be shy. You can join the community. Thank you, Garrison. Man, my man, shout out to Garrison. Yeah, I need the board. Shout out to Garrison. You know what I'm saying? He stepped up. The rest of y'all step down. I ain't messing with none of y'all. Lou, I ain't answering none of your questions no more, man. You live in Finland, but you can't go over there and hit a click or nothing. No, you ain't getting no questions. No, man. No more questions. What tips could you give to a newbie starting the hair growth journey? Are you losing your hair? What's going on? Are you losing your hair? Have you lost your hair? Give me a little bit more context so I better have a better understanding. But I did put the link, the school community link, in the chat. So go ahead and click that. All seriousness, just join. I mean, it don't take nothing. It don't cost you nothing. It's free. You know what I mean? It don't cost you nothing but a click. That's all it is. Just a click. Appreciate that. OTH. Shout out to OTH. Yeah. Shout out to OTH. Look, this is a click. Any other questions, man? Yeah, wifey be trying to tell me to turn it down in the morning. I'm like, turn it down. I'm up, but that's sleep. I gotta and also I have a protocol. I have a supplement protocol as well. I have a night supplement protocol. I have a morning supplement protocol. I've been trying to get the wifey on there because she be talking about she be tired. I'm like, listen, you need to get on board. I can't make it. I can take you to the water. I can't make you drink it. Yes, crowns are giving up on me. Your crown is giving up on you. Man, I think the theme of this video has been, say it with me, sleep. Make sure you get the quality sleep. It's not how long you sleep. It's not that at all. It's about the quality of sleep. That it always gonna start there first and foremost, because when your crown is thinning, what you're seeing is the after effect of all your life choices up into that moment. That's it. It was like a domino effect. And you didn't see the domino like a snake coming around the corner. That domino, you know how the domino be keep going like the commercial? You don't see it until it hit that last domino. And that last domino is your hair. But it's been happening in your body the whole entire time. So I would say, man, start with that. Recalibrate the body. Get the body back in a condition. Because if the body is not in a healthy condition if it's not a healthy environment, a suitable environment for hair to grow, the hair is going to follow the body. The body is not going to follow the hair. So we got to start there. Is make sure you get to bed before 9:45. That's just start right there. Reset, recalibrate, replenish the body. You need recovery time. If you ever worked out, you understand that when do muscles grow? Muscles grow during the time that you are recovering. You can't eat muscles. You can't just eat weight at every second. No, you got to have time for recovery. Everybody knows that. That's just something that we got to, well, not everybody. Let me not say that. That's not true. But yeah, that's where I would start, man. The other place that I will also start is you can join the community. I just put a link there. I am doing free hair loss consultations. Malika, my man. My man hit the link. He hit the link. Come on now. That's 2. I got 3 people who joined the community today. I got 19 people watching. eating Doritos, got mayonnaise on the side of their face. You know what I mean? They got, they licking their fingers. You know what I mean? Digging up in their nose. You know what I mean? Scratching their armpits. I got all y'all in here doing all that. You can't hit the link? Come on now. I just gave you a whole lot of free game. It's free. But yeah, hit the link, Kingsman. Hit the link, man. And what we can do is let me know, like, hey, I hit you up. Send me a message, and then we can do a free consultation because I need to know a little bit about what's going on. Give me a little bit more context. But in terms of like low hanging fruit, that would be the first place I would start. So cost you nothing. All right, gentlemen, I'm going to be leaving here. I'll be back next Friday. Uh, and if you're on and you are going to do everything that I ask you to do, keep track of your sleep. These are the things that you want that I need you to do. One, record for the next 7 days. Record what time you go to bed. Record what time you wake up. You can just do this on your phone. Record how many hours you slept. And then also you need to rate your morning energy. My morning energy when I wake up is strong. Okay? There's a scale, an energy scale, 1 through 5. 1 being that you are exhausted, 5 being strong, 2 being you're tired, 3 being like, I'm okay, and 4 being good. When I wake up in the morning, I'm strong. My wife trying to turn me down. I said, you can't turn me down. I'm back, baby. You know? And then also you need to track if you're going to sleep after 10 p.m. It's this, hey, are you going to sleep after 10 p.m.? Just put a Y or an N, yes or no. That's it. That's it. Those are the 5 things you need to track for the next 7 days. All right? Do that, and then next Friday, show up next Friday, and then I'm going to ask you about your score. And then you just let me know what your score is. But this is going to tell you everything about yourself. It's going to let you know, are you sabotaging your hair? Are you sabotaging your body? Are you sabotaging your future self? And a lot of us do that. I've done that. I have sabotaged my future self. So, you know, something free. It don't cost you nothing but some time, man. Invest in yourself, So that's what I would say. Yo, what can you say about cerebric dermatitis? Wait. Sleep. Go to sleep. I gotta go, Silence, but this is what I need you to do because I gotta run. I'm gonna put a link. Join my link. I got a free hair loss consultation. Get on the consultation. We can talk a little bit more about your cerebric dermatitis. Okay. For everybody else who's been on the live, I do appreciate y'all. I really do. Even if you don't join the community, I still appreciate you for being here. I really, really do. Other than that, I see y'all next Friday. I'll be asking y'all scores, so we're gonna see who is truly invested in themselves. Because if if you can't do something if you just can't do it for yourself, then I can't help you. If you can't help yourself, like that's foundation right there. You won't help anybody if they're not willing to help themselves. I can only do so much. So with that being said, enjoy y'all weekend. Happy Memorial Day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. If it's your mother, sister, whoever birthday is around you, happy birthday to them too. We sending love to everybody, okay? We sending all the love. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all. I'm out.